Today on the Tom London Show, which is brought to you by Suzuki Rivonia, we chat to the one and only Viv Vermaak. I can't wait to cross down to Blobergstrand, where Viv is standing by for us. She's going to be telling us about her life. Well, Viv can talk about a telephone book and make it interesting. Viv can talk about a Tupperware pot and make it interesting. So don't go anywhere. Viv Vermaak on your phone in just a moment or two. Let me introduce the team. Today we are short of Tonya because she's driving back. She took me to the airport yesterday. Richards Bay Airport, which is not the biggest airport in the world, but it's cute. And then she stayed over last night and drove back and busy driving back to Setswana. So she won't be live today. She'll be back with us on, I don't even know what day it is, Tuesday next week. I think it's Thursday. From the capital city of the Near East Rand, Germiston, Primrose Hill to be specific, it's the one and only Alistair Jameson.
Don't forget to make it a double.
I believe it was a bit cold here on Monday, eh? And Tuesday.
I'm telling you, Tom, I'm sitting here in a blanket.
Is it? Well, I'm here as well, so I know it's cold at the moment, but I believe it was cold on Monday and Tuesday. Those were the cold.
Monday and Tuesday, it was icy. Listen, when you got off the plane, were you in shorts and slops?
No. I prepared. I'm one of those people that puts the 3 layers on before I get on the plane, and then I overheat when I'm on the plane. I sweat out of every pore. But when I walk off that plane, I'm not one of those passengers that goes, just like it's cold in Joburg. Yeah, I say, you haven't prepared. Everybody's standing on the air stair, opening their suitcases to get their jerseys out. Those are
you're falling down the stairs because you're stumbling over every person.
I got out of there. I was seat 3. Foxtrot. I was one of the first off the plane, and I foxtrotted off that plane into the cold. And I went, it is cold here in Joburg. Yesterday morning, I was in T-shirts and short pants. Can you believe it? In the same country. Yeah. T-shirts and short pants.
Amazing.
Anyway,
I can believe that.
I had a wonderful time in Setswana Bay with Tonya. And to be fair, Tonya should be with us to talk about Setswana Bay.
Did you go swimming?
I didn't go swimming, no. You know, I'm not an ocean swimmer. I'd like to look at the ocean. If it's nicely framed, and leave it there. I like to look. I don't like to swim. Anyway, our big...
Unless it's in a paddling pool.
Yeah, unless it's in a paddling pool. There's Viv Vermaak. Look, she's standing by for us. I can't wait to say hello to her. But the paddling pools were underwater. We kept missing the low tide. If you're joining us on YouTube and you're wondering what's going on, some people join us from America. They find us for some reason. Hello, America. It's good to have you with us. You're joining us on YouTube and Facebook Live. 2/3 of the show love America, 1/3 doesn't. That would be Tonya Curry. But don't tell.
She's not here today.
Don't tell the CIA. Langley. Anyway.
Langley.
Yeah, so okay, we'll get to your comments in a moment. If you're watching the show, don't forget you can put you're the other tire on the car. You get to put comments in the comment section. You got questions for Viv, you got comments for Viv, questions for us, put them in the comment section and let's get chatting. I'll be reading your comments out in just a moment. So, Viv Vermaak, the one and only legendary Viv Vermaak, up in 30 seconds exactly. First though, let Greg van Kerkhoven from Suzuki Rivonia introduce you to the sales team.
Hi guys, it's Greg here, and it's time to meet the team that makes Suzuki Rivonia the home of happy customers.
Hi, I'm Jerry, Sales Executive.
Hi, I'm Yvonne.
Hi, I'm Kenny, Sales Executive.
Hi, I'm Sips, I'm the Sales Executive.
Hi, I'm Jason, Sales Executive.
Hi, I'm Gavin, I'm the Sales Manager at Suzuki Rivonia, your home of happy customers.
And what must you do if you go buy a Suzuki from Rivonia or Kailami? Suzuki Rivonia, Suzuki Kailami, Alistair?
Tell them Tom sent you.
Amen. Right, here she is, ladies and gentlemen, out of Blobergstrand, Cape Town, South Africa, the one and only, yay, Viv Vermaak. How's it, Viv?
How's it, Tom? How's it, Alistair? My brother from another mother in Germiston.
Hey,
there we go.
Germiston in arms.
Jerbies.
Are you missing?
Alistair, am I allowed to first bump you because I moved to the Cape about a year ago? Is it still allowed?
Of course, yes. There we go.
Yeah, you see, I feel a bit like one of those 59 refugees who have to make an excuse for why I ducked.
Well, it seems like we swapped places because I moved back to Joburg from Cape Town 2 years ago.
Yeah, he used to.
Okay, so it balances out.
Yes.
But Tom, I know you
Yeah.
guys love the mountain, eh?
Yeah, look at
Don't you
that.
love the mountain?
Look
Look, we
at
have a
that.
mountain, Tom. Mountain.
Look at that. Walter, Fred, and Parker proves. I know, Valties. Wait for December. You might also go and see it in December, Valties. You can also see that mountain. What a
Go
nice
down to
view.
Cape Town for 2 weeks.
So, yeah.
I'm going to show you the... Can I show you the car quickly and then
Please.
get inside because the lighting isn't
Yeah,
great.
please,
I just want to check. There's a burgie lurking here. I just want to see if he's still there. Okay, so this is the car.
Is
You
this
can see lacquer.
Katy? Is this Katy Perry Perry?
Katy Perry Perry.
Love
Let
it.
me do it like this. Okay, so this is a 69 V8. I'm going
Look
to
at
walk
that,
to the
eh?
back where I saw the burgie lurking and see. if he's
Get him
still
to come and wash the car.
Look, he's still there.
Okay,
He's waiting for money. He
There we
need-
go.
he needs some
There
bucks.
we go, donkey.
He needs some bucks from you, Viv. There we go. Viv.
There we go. Donkey, my friend.
Dis tot dat hy nie jou foon gryp en hardloop.
Nee, hy gaan nie die foon
No, I
gryp
can't
nie. Hy's
even
okay.
I can't. So you see at the back the signature 6 lights, the 6 Mabon at
Wow,
the back.
wow.
I'm doing it. So this is what these cars were known as
The 6
in
lights.
the 60s, 70s, and 6 Mabon, and they were the taxis of our townships.
Especially on the East Rand. Is that right, Viv? Davyton was famous for cars like this.
100%. And Soweto. So when I take the car to Soweto, people have an extraordinary reaction to it
I'm
because
sure.
they remember it as an era of elegance
I'm sure.
and a 10-seater. So it's difficult to imagine it, but there were 4 people in front and then 6 there at the back, and
There's-
that was a 10-seater.
There's space for you and 3 partners there in the front seat, should you so wish.
At least. And of course, these were also the cars they used in your American TV series,
That's
the
right.
Impalas. They were like the Toyota Corollas of the universe back then.
I guess
Wasn't
every
that the one that you used to sit with your arm around your girlfriend and across the back of the seat and used to one arm driving?
Yeah, with this car, you can put your arm around 2 of your girlfriends if you want. Whoa,
100%.
Walter, Fred, and Park, don't let the secrets out. Stop.
Was it another episode of Farmer Wants a Wife, South Africa?
Something like that. Viv, most people would know you from the iconic TV series Going Nowhere Slowly. You know, I was doing a little bit of research. Funnily enough, about a week or 2 ago, I was watching Going Nowhere Slowly episodes. Because I'm starting to get interested in travel logs and travel programs and stuff like that. So I was watching
Oh,
it,
lovely.
and I was watching Going Nowhere Slowly. And in my research came up with it's the most watched South African travel program ever, nationally or internationally.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And you know, at the time, we didn't know what we were doing, and social media was very new. So we had no idea what effect we had on people. And I was still in that phase where
Yeah.
when you realize people recognize you in the street was, no, I don't deserve the attention and all of that nonsense. So it was quite a surprise for us to realize these facts afterwards.
I want to play you something. Michael Naranjo, who's a Facebook friend of mine,
Yes.
performed the song Going Nowhere Slowly, the theme tune.
100%.
And I don't want to break copyright rules here, but he put a little bit of him singing live there, up on his YouTube channel. And I just want to, this will bring back some memories. You ready? Here we go. Oh, that should bring back memories, Viv.
Just
Eh?
another town.
Oh, it was
What do you think of when you hear this? What comes to mind?
Going nowhere
specifically 1966 Impala. This is a 69.
Really?
Called
Really?
the Chili Pepper through the Northern Cape. Because those were the days where it was new and special, and the music made the show, especially Michael's songs.
Yes.
So when you didn't know what to say, you played music and you just drove for hours and hours, and all you could hear was the music and the sound of the of the engine.
It brings back lots of memories for me. You know which memory it brings back for me? When you lost your tooth.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
That was a big episode.
Very frustrated. Yeah, it was a big episode. Yeah, and you know what was weird about that tooth thing?
Yeah.
Because it's very embarrassing for humans when their teeth are gone. I don't know why, because I'm used to it.
So I have I've got a confession.
Yeah.
I've got a confession to make. I was working
Yeah,
at 702 at the time. And when that show came out,
And you make fun of me.
I did.
hear your oaks.
I did. Do you know that? Did you? I hope. Please tell me you didn't hear the show.
No, I didn't hear the show, but the news of how you ripped me off. You try to guess how it happened. No. We from Germiston, we know what people say.
Viv's got a good memory. Alistair, this is 20 years ago. She remembers the show. And I don't know if I've ever apologized. I think I might have, but if I haven't, let me apologize.
No, do it again.
No, I can't. I tell you why I won't apologize, because about 10 years ago, I'm in the bush and I knocked out a front tooth. And you know the first person I thought of when I knocked out that front tooth? My mom would have said, the worm turns, my boy. The worm turns.
The worm turns. So exactly what did you say about me, Tom?
No, we ran a program trying to work out how you lost your tooth.
And what were the best guesses?
You're really testing my memory now. She wants me to
No, you do remember, because it's the flame of shame burning in you. I can see it.
I can't remember.
Say, Tom,
really
she calls it like she sees it.
It might have. The winning one might have been you busted with a toy or something. I can't remember. I honestly can't.
Oh, so he does remember. Okay, that's fine. But you know what's really fun? What's fun about that tooth thing? Because that episode, because of the missing tooth is it's almost like being overweight or something. So after that, when you go to various bars and public places, and at least 2 places, I walked into a public space. And there's an oak sitting at the bar, and he sees me, and he takes out a false front tooth, and he holds it up like a salute.
Respect,
and you go, we understand each other. It's like that slow clap.
It's brilliant. It is, hey.
Society.
Yeah, it is.
Brother, we are on the tribe.
So now you moved out. I've been following you on Facebook for years and years and years. We've met a few times at social functions. And chatted, and I remember you were smoking. The last time I saw you, you had a fake cigarette, or because you stopped smoking, but you still had the thing. You're still puffing, but it wasn't lit.
Yeah. No, I was addicted to not smoking for a while, but that's all over now.
Oh, that's good.
So, Viv, tell me, what made you move from the thriving metropolis of, Germiston? When I was a young boy, I grew up in Springs, and my mom had an uncle called Uncle Bert, and he was the chief captain of South African Airways, and it was a big deal to visit Uncle Bert because he was such an important man. And my mom would get in the car and we'd leave Springs, and she'd say, "Now you're all on your best behavior because we're going to a very fancy place. We're going to Germiston." And we would go to Lambton, the suburb of Lambton.
No, Lambton is the fancy. Lambton is on the other side of the railway track. It is fancy.
She told me that. We had to behave. And then Uncle Bert got lung cancer, and she took us to see what happens if you smoke. And I can tell you for sure that shock treatment doesn't work on 10-year-olds. It just doesn't have the desired effect.
No, it doesn't. So the reason for me moving, sometimes there are cataclysms in your life. So I lost my job and had to sell our childhood home, and then my only option at the time was Cape Town. But I must tell you, at this time, I miss Germiston and the East Rand
really
a lot. I do.
What do you miss?
And I think the reality is that my body had a different adrenergic temperature or frequency on the East Rand. That I miss. I miss the people. Harry Oppenheimer was an industrialist, and he was a billionaire. He could have lived anywhere in the world. He chose Joburg, I think, for the reason I miss the East Rand, the granularity of the people and the realness of life and the mix of people, which I dearly missed. And you had that adrenaline and that sense of aliveness because so many more things happen, and it's real. People in Cape Town have no idea what the country is.
Life
really
in Cape Town is fantastic. La La Land. Let's meet for a coffee.
And they have no idea, and I miss that. And Harry Oppenheimer used to say, in Joburg, there's nothing to see, but in Cape Town, there's no one to talk to. I said, that's it.
Very interesting. Eh? So 2 years you've been in Cape Town. What's it been like? What have you been doing in Cape Town for 2 years?
It's a year. It's a year and a bit.
Yeah.
So my slate was clean when I moved down, so I thought I might as well make something up.
Yeah.
So I am now a performative philosopher and a dismotivational speaker.
What's a dismotivational?
Cool, eh?
Yeah. What's a dismotivational speaker?
So it's not demotivational or unmotivational. So I deconstruct the myths and bullshit that surrounds motivational speaking, and I replace it with a reality check.
I've always, I remember when I worked on radio, people said, "Tom, do you want this motivational speaker?" I'd say no to almost every motivational speaker. I didn't want to talk to them because they all had the same spiel. And sometimes life is just cuck. Sometimes it's okay. I keep saying this to my friends. Sometimes it's okay to feel sad. Sometimes it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel grief. These things are normal.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the motivational messages promise unattainable ideals of radical personal transformation.
Yeah.
And your reality is that only 5% or 2% of people ever make it big, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you have to count on the fact that you're going to be one of the 98%
of the normals.
How are you going to deal with that? So that's my message. I tell people, listen, if you want to aim for the sky like Icarus, go for it. Or your alternative strategy, which is what I'm doing, is have the courage to be average. Because I promise you now, you're not going to be that 2%, buddy.
You know,
it's not going to be you.
Viv, I was watching an interview with Kate Turkington. Well, not really an interview, a chat between Gareth Cliff and Kate Turkington on his channel. And Kate is 90 years old. She's had one of the most fantastic lives of any human being I've ever met. And fantastically happy within herself, loves life, 90 years old, can't wait to turn 100. Most people I meet today go, I hope I don't make it to... Someone this morning, I met them, said, I don't want to grow old. I hope I don't make it to 70. There's Kate, 90 years old, happy as anything. Gareth was asking her, what's your secret? And she was saying, I don't own a house. I own a car, but I'm surrounded by a lot of love, and that's all you need. You don't need all the rest.
Sure. So I think that's an important point. And when people, so in my DisMotivational talk, and I deconstruct the myths and the myths for them, and we do celebrate people who have money, status, youth, IQ, but everybody sort of knows all the longevity studies, Socrates, Plato, and those guys, that love is the most important thing. But we don't have an objective measurement for love. We don't have statues of, wow, look, this guy is a love expert. We don't have that, but we celebrate our leaders and our entrepreneurs and our space rocket ship ketamine infested entrepreneurs. So there's definitely something people need to have a trade-off discussion about greatness and what do you want in life? Because often the greatness is a trade-off for people who can love you. But you have to be home for people to love you.
Yeah. Often I think of, whenever I think of the question, what is a real person, or what is I'm trying to find the right word here. I don't want to use the word successful. It's such a horrible word. But whenever I think, what is it? Who's the kind of person that I could stand up to and stand up for and say respect? And you know who it is for me? It's the mother that gets up at 4:30 in the morning, and makes the kids' school fees, and then catches public transport to go work in a physical 100%. Job the whole day, and then get home and do it all again. Those are my heroes. The ordinary folk who struggle through it all and don't complain.
Yeah, look, I think everybody can be respected. Yeah, like you said, it's a big word. Respect, meaning, purpose, happiness. So I take a dim view on big concepts like that. So I've traded those for worth it. And worth it doesn't mean have to be great. It doesn't have to result in happiness. Is it worth it? And the biggest trick I can recommend for that is lower your expectations.
That's what Kate was saying. Exactly the same thing. Don't have high expectations.
Lower your expectations, you get more out of life. So switch winning and excellence with worth it quotas. And the best way to do that is curiosity and authenticity. But those mothers have something the rest of us don't have. We don't even have a word for that, to be honest.
Do you miss traveling? I mean, you've seen a lot of South Africa. Is there a need to see more? Or have you been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and you like to be home now?
I miss the intensity of the roller coaster ride. That's what I miss.
Okay.
And I think for me, if the travel had to become like that again, it would have to be international, I think.
Tell me about your dog. You've got a very cute dog. Is he still around?
Yeah, Bonky is my lovely little dog. Bonky is the dog, but she's at home to protect the home from a Wally invasion.
Where are you staying in Cape Town? Which side?
So I'm in Parkland, which is 3 kilometers from where you see the picture now. So that's sort of Germiston by the sea. So we are the guys, it's also Parklands, because we have the alleged Nigerian contingent and the drugs. And even the other day, we had a gang shooting outside of Food Lovers
just
Market.
like Germiston.
So we like Germiston by the sea.
That's fantastic. All right, let's have a look and see. And by the way, if you want to ask Viv a question or pass on a comment or compliment, just write it in the comment section next to or below the video. Let's go to the comments and see who's on board and what you've got to say. Margaret Guider says, hello, boys and girls. Gillian Corona is on board. Hello to all of Tom's armies. So says Una Guider. Hello, everybody. FKN cold, says Gillian. She don't like the cold, it seems. Hello, dysfunctional, says Anita number 1. Jan van Skalk says, hello, Tom. Greetings from beautiful Cape Town. Mad Saint says, hi. Glad you know how to foxtrot, says not quite. Gail E. Mortensen says, how's it, everybody? Enjoying a bowl of freshly made homemade veggie soup and watching Tom London Show. Life can't get better, Gail Mortensen. Where is Tonya Kuri, asks Anita. She's on the road again. She should be pulling into her house right now. Tonya's got the most beautiful house in Sodwana Bay. She really does. Now she's got those 2 little Pekingese puppies that look like toilet brushes without the stick. They're very cute. Hand Pink Waving says, Mad Saint. Marlene Falkenberg, hi Tom and Alistair. Jocelyn Kitchen says, hi Scutterball. Emily Hudson says, so lovely to see you back from being so spoiled. Thanks for taking care of Tom. Tonya Kuri. She did. Her and her mom took extra special care of me, and I am forever in their debt. Heather Knickelbein says, good day to the dysfunctional missing Tonya. Glad you had a good time with Tonya and her mom. Hi Viv, says Jan van Skalk. Hello Viv. What a fabulous car, says Mandy Catterson Wilson. Do people want to stop and take pictures? And is the car a big thing?
All the time. And most of the time when I get pulled over by the cops, then they also want to take pictures. But it's actually quite extraordinary how this car changes the mood, your own mood when you drive it,
yes,
and the mood of everyone on the road. People just get happy when they see this car. It's ridiculous. Doesn't matter where you go. People are smiling and hooting. There's something about it that just makes people joyful.
Do you remember a guy called, was his name Bram Kruger?
Yes.
The artist, and he had a little restaurant in Cyril Dean.
That's right, yes.
Bram used to drive, I think, a Toyota Stallion that was painted in weird colors, and he had a buck head and a horn on the bonnet with a loudspeaker, and he'd talk to people at the robots.
He was great. No, he was great.
He was my hero. I mean, Bram was in his 60s, and he'd pitch up at 702 in skin-tight tights and supermodels. I've always wondered how he did it.
No, he was delightful. I was at his restaurant once, and he came out there, but he was very angry. In Afrikaans, you'd say boos.
Yeah,
so that's a word beyond angry. And
Hi,
he wanted
Afrikaans.
to know who complained about the food. And the one guy put his hand up, and he went there and cucked the guy out for daring to complain.
that was...
because the guy thought the manager was now coming to him to tend to his complaint and tell the guy to leave.
Well,
So he was great.
The night I went there, his chef arrived drunk. So first there was a fight in the kitchen, and the drunk chef got paraded in front of everybody. We were all told he was drunk, and he was kicked out the restaurant. And then Bram said, I can only cook you one thing. And he came out with this big fish, and he said, that's what you're eating for dinner tonight. So we all put our menus down, and we ate whatever Bram decided we would eat. He was a real character, but I'm thinking of his car and the commotion it would cause. And your car does the same. Wherever you go, people just fall in love with that car.
Absolutely. And everybody has a comment and they want to touch it. I had to fight with a whole gang of school children before
Really?
we came here. But I just want to share that I'm sweating here because today, the winter this year in Cape Town compared to last year is very hot, and today is extremely hot. So we are living in different countries today. But I want to ask you something. I saw on your Facebook, it was in 2018, you posted a picture that it took you 2 years to post. About a terrible loss that you'd endured.
What?
And
It was a
you
girl?
were busy with the reinvention. I wasn't a girl.
Well, I don't know. I've had so many. Loss has been a partner of mine in life, as it is for many or most people, I suppose. But I'm just trying to think. Was that the one where I'm standing on the side of the road with an estate agent sign behind me, and I'm saying this was day one of reinventing myself?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
that one. And it looked like you had a Zempic face, but the Zempic wasn't around.
No, that was just poverty. Not enough money for proper food.
And then I thought, then you didn't even know what reinvention was. If you fast forward 6 years, so this continuous reinvention for you, that is a skill. Can you teach us some tips?
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe East Rand's got something to do with it because I grew up in Springs and there was just, at the end of our road was a mini field. So you either hooked a right and went into agriculture, or you tried your best in life and you went east, or west rather, and you headed towards Joburg and you had nothing to lose. And so I've always felt, and I think reinvention, it's a big word, but when you decide, hey, I need to make big changes, I think it normally comes when you've got very little to lose, to be honest. I don't think you ever reinvent yourself in a 20 million rand house with a Ferrari and Porsche. Although I must say, at one stage in my life, I was.
I'm just waving at
that's
somebody
fine.
looking at the car.
I'm sure you've got fans coming past. So, yeah, I don't know. That particular time was Krugersdorp and a relationship hadn't worked out the way I wanted it to. I really thought that was the rest of my life was going to be with this lady and didn't work out. And it was one of those. I've been watching. Have you watched 90 Day Fiancé?
No.
Well, I watch it to see how desperate people can be for love.
Sure.
When you see the relationship's done, it's not going to go anywhere. She's not that into you, and yet the guy still tries for another year or two. And that was me. I was dumb. I couldn't see, like, the time to leave is now, Charlie. But that day was the day I thought, I'm at my lowest. I don't know. Everything was gone. And I thought the only thing I can do is reinvent myself. Pick yourself up and off you go. Head back towards Johannesburg and start something new. And I think I wrote in that post that kind of change. And I know you've been through it at least once in your life where you've said, okay, I'm changing. But that kind of change is painful. And I think it's why people are scared to change. But I likened it to being a pupa in a chrysalis, becoming a butterfly. Surely there's some aches and pains as you metamorphosize.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So I like your link to the East Rand because I think you have a built-in resilience.
Yeah.
Because life is so much tougher. And part of it is that you experience poverty. If you don't experience it yourself, you see it in others.
Yeah.
You can't look away. And that is definitely, that's a quality I miss in Cape Townians because I don't see it. There's an openness, that the people from the East Rand or Gauteng have, simply because they make more interactions on a daily basis and they make more intense interactions on a daily basis.
When I see it, Viv, when I get into the back of an Uber and I always ask the driver, how's life? I've got the same question. I get in and say, hey, how's life? And very often the answer is, hey, things are tough. Things are tough, Tom. And I know what that is. That's money. That's the constant struggle to find money. But you can get in the back of an Uber, and by the time you get your ride, you'll find out that guy lost his job. He's now Ubering. He's got one daughter who's diabetic type 1, and his wife left him for another woman, and he's trying to pick her. We're very open with each other, at least this part of the world.
That's it. I love it. That's the word that I miss, openness. So I'm not saying Joburgers are friendlier than Cape Townians. They're also more rude. They're also more aggressive.
Yeah.
Also more bastards.
Yes.
But they're more open. So they have an authenticness that I really, really miss.
Yeah. Alistair, you got a question for Viv?
No, I've just got a comment along what you were saying about reinventing.
Yeah.
I spent a couple of months in Australia trying to move to Australia to stay there and then get my kids over there to have a better life, and things went south. And I had to come back to South Africa, and I ended back in South Africa with $70 in my pocket.
Sometimes the best stories start like that.
You to do things that and I ended up waitering, I ended up tending bar, playing bit parts in movies, doing everything that I could to stay afloat, to keep going. And that's resilience. That's learning that life has a way of changing every single day.
Do you think COVID had an impact on? Sometimes I call COVID the great leveler, because before COVID, there's still a sector in South Africa that can walk into Woolworths and pull stuff off the shelves without looking at the prices. But more and more people went, whoa, they were affected by it, and it's not such a shame to say I'm struggling. At the moment, I don't know. Maybe sometimes I think COVID shifted our psychology a little bit, and it's a bit easier to say I'm struggling now because we had an excuse. COVID wiped me out, so I don't know.
No, sure. But I agree with Alistair on the concept of resilience. So my philosophy as a dismotivational speaker is coping, so resilience. So I said less hope, more cope. So take away the ambitions and expectations and learn how to cope with how cuck life is. That's a better skill.
Damn right. How are people responding to your dismotivational lectures or speeches?
So look, let me put it this way. It's a niche market because my family is going, Vivian, you can't go and tell people they're average. Nobody's going to pay you to hear that. And so far, my family is right. But so it's niche.
But Viv, be honest. Viv, be honest. You're a creative. When somebody says you can't do that, it won't work. What do? You got to try it.
Deep in my heart, I feel it's an important.
Damn right, it's going to work. It's going to work. I saw you did a Pecha Kucha evening where you have to do 20 slides in 2 minutes or so.
Here's a guy. Say hello to Tom London. Can you see him?
I like the car. How are you?
Yeah, all right. You want to buy it? It's for sale.
Can you see him?
Yeah, I can see you.
We're selling it. Do you want to buy it?
I'm selling fish and prawns, man.
Fish and prawns.
Crayfish.
Yeah.
King clip. We got salmon.
Yes,
we got sole, calamari. We got prawns. We got dorado. Hassel cracker. We got everything.
Alles van die water behalve die graag.
You know yourself, man. Yeah, man. And we have a card machine also. You can swipe also.
Thanks, my brother. It's nice to meet you. Eh? So that doesn't happen in Germiston, Viv.
No, in Germiston, no. In Germiston,
you go to the fish shop.
No, this has not happened. Nee, dankie wel. Ons gaan vandag niks
praat nie. Het al die met Charlie start met hom man.
Nee man, Charlie, ons gaan nie nou praat nie.
Charlie.
Nee, wag.
Charlie, when
you see this, this doesn't
I know exactly how this goes down.
Ek gaan nou die venster toemaak.
You're going to have to buy a dozen prawns and some fish now.
Ja, nou look, en wat het jy bier gedrink? Wat is dit? Vodka.
He's dealing with a professional here.
Ja, ek sal nou kom kyk daar by Ocean Fresh. Dankie. Okay, so look, they're persistent, these snook salesmen.
If only we could all be that persistent, we'd all be Harry Oppenheimers.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
All right, let's take a look at a few more messages. Tom, you say you're interested in travel.
Yes. Hello to Gene Hunter from Ireland.
Please. Hello, Gene Hunter from Ireland. Gene tunes into the show from time to time. We always get a message from her when she does. Danny Hussein says, Salam alaikum, brothers. Salam alaikum, Danny. Margaret Guida says, can I come for you with your tooth? Sitom no, stop it now. Ratang says, Salam alaikum. Hello, Ratang. Good to have you with us. You miss the people, says Jocelyn. Cape Town people are rude. Do you think so? Do you think Cape Town people are rude?
No, I don't think so rude. They just miss. That's why I'm picking the word open. So I wrote a whole thing.
I think you've identified it. Yeah.
They're less open. So they're also less honest. And for people from Germiston, a lack of honesty is a form of rudeness.
Yeah.
It's a form of rudeness. We prefer that you're rude and aggressive with us than civil. But that's how we are.
That's right.
But it's just a lack of openness.
Frank says, Cape Town is a beautiful setting, but a terrible cast. Una Guida says, I thought my dad was cool when he smoked. Now I'm a smoker and a vapor. Worst mistake of my life. Margaret Guida says, wish you well in Cape Town, Viv. Yes, in Johannesburg there is heart and soul. Anita says, totally agree. Most motivational speakers need to be woken up to reality. Do you think that's what it is? People's reality? Reality is very different to the movies.
No, it's terrible. Reality for most people is terrible, and we must say so.
Yeah.
So I say for people in my speech, life is like my Jiu-Jitsu career, largely embarrassing, mostly shit, but still worth it. That's how I can sum it up.
What belt are you in Jiu-Jitsu?
I'm already a purple belt.
Wow.
Same piece, Mama.
Wow.
Yeah, so that takes 6 years, and I'll see how far I can get. But I was diagnosed with a genetic hip condition last year. I couldn't understand why everything was so painful. So I don't know how far I'll get, but I'll see how far I can get.
Have you ever used Jiu-Jitsu on the streets?
No, but I went through when you're a blue belt, then you think you're invincible.
Yeah.
So I used to go walk on the street and just hope today is my lucky day. Let somebody try it
on the streets in Germiston.
No, you go around looking for a fight. But now when you're a purple belt, then you mature, then you know you don't want that.
Oh wow, that's brilliant. Yeah, of course. Now you're into the whole mindset of it. Hey, it's not just for Maroon people now. Okay, Lisa Smith said we need to be grateful for life. So true. Have the courage to be average, says Heidi. Ronald Gerard says all we need is love. Lisa says authentic. Heidi van Nieuwenhuizen says love makes the world go round. Live in a combi, eat off the streets and keep the tires going, says Anita. The word, courageous and relentless and authentic. Margaret says Cape Town people seem to be living on another planet, a lot of them. Some are very nasty. Why is Cape Town getting this reputation of nasty people? That's very weird. I lived in Stellenbosch. Maybe Stellenbosch is different because I thought everything was fine.
Look, I think there's a certain degree of friendly competition between Joburg and Cape Town because Joburg was always the ugly stepsister, but the one with the money.
Yeah.
And Cape Town still has that colonial thing from them. So there is that bit of we're still superior. Don't think because you're richer than us. So there's a bit of that. Because they haven't been exposed to the relentless resilience needed by Joburgers, they're more sheltered and therefore more sensitive. So they don't have the capacity for that wide range of reactions, I think, which makes their limited range of conversation seem like rudeness or standoffishness.
I wonder if that's the same in...
This bloody mountain has a lot to do with it. Because everything, it's in the way, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
It's always there, it's in the way. I know. So there are no straight roads in Cape Town.
No.
So in Joburg, I would go from Germiston and visit somebody in Pretoria with batting an eyelid.
And make 2 turns.
Away.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, 14 kilometers is an effort.
I know.
So now you're not visiting people, and the mountain causes a literal divide between communities. So mountain is a very big problem here.
I learned that when I've been in Cape Town a lot and spent some time there, lived in the area. But if you say I live on the other side of Cape Town, people go, they can't visit you because it's just too
It's
too
15
far.
kilometers, yeah.
And the traffic, Cape Town has worse traffic than Joburg.
And their driving is terrible. But I must tell you, when I was researching my article, the Cape Townians admit their driving is terrible. They don't do anything about it, but they are terrible. Because, again, they can't make decisions and they lose.
Una says, my dad is turning 73 and he still leaves at 6 o'clock in the cold in the mornings to do his tradesman job. The respect I have for that man is indescribable.
100%.
Mandy Wilson says, real success is found in meaningful relationships, good health, lasting happiness and family, not in bank accounts or material wealth. Monica dos Santos, our cancer shatterer. She just took cancer and shattered it. She broke it into a million pieces and she's doing so well. Says, yeah, I love the show. Thank you, Monica. Good to have you on board. You still got to come back and talk to us, Monica. Xavier Arnold, how's it going, guys? Greetings from Sodwana Bay. We almost managed to meet each other. Xavier arrived the day before I left, and I was trying to coordinate to see Xavier, but didn't get to. Xavier Arnold in the beautiful Sodwana Bay at the moment. Thank you, Xavier, for your message, and it's nice to know you're in a part of the world that you love. Hey, is Tonya still driving back from the airport? Says Mandy Wilson. I don't know. I've got no bloody idea. She should be pulling in now. Hello, you nerdies.
Driving from Durban to Margate.
Yeah, it's a hell of a drive that. I did the drive yesterday morning from Sodwana to Richards Bay. Lots of coal trucks in that area because our rail system's gone. So now it's the trucks that transport all the coal.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
What else have we got? Your car has a lot of love attached to it, Viv, I think. Is that true? Has it got a soul?
It has a lot of soul. And look, it's very frustrating because, look, the car has many interesting things about it. But every time I get into it, I smile. But it's very frustrating. And it has peculiarity. So tomorrow I'm taking somebody to Eiserfontein because it's a petrol car. The petrol, these cars have to run.
Yeah.
It's a car, it moet ry. But I make them agree to a disclaimer and terms and conditions. They must agree to the disclaimer. And the first is the car might start or it might not.
Yes.
Either way, you have to be fine with it.
That's right.
The car doesn't have aircon. It doesn't have seat belts. It doesn't have a radio. It doesn't have shatterproof windows or UV-resistant windscreen. And there's a crack in the windscreen. You have to be okay with it. Sometimes the gear slips and the car starts moving by itself forwards or backwards. Sometimes the brake fails. You still want to come with me or not? And they have to say yes or no.
They always say yes. They always say yes.
That car reminds me of that song, Love is in the Backseat of My Cadillac.
Yeah, well.
Alistair takes. I knew he was going to take it to the back seat. I had a feeling.
No, always. Listen, do we have anything else to talk about, or have we run out of stuff?
No,
I wanted to ask you about your weight because you complained about it a month
don't
back.
do that.
Okay,
I'm fat. I'm getting. The only word to use is fat, and I'm. I'm 6'3", so you don't see it on me immediately. I know it's there because I can see it on the scale, and then my clothes don't fit me anymore.
What's the problem?
The problem is that I like food.
But you were always so skinny. So what happened now?
I don't know. When I came out of the hospital, I was very skinny. I had no muscle tone. Or no muscle left, and my body was desperate for stuff. I could feel my body wanting to soak up the apple juice and the bread and the eggs, and I had cravings. And then I just don't think I stopped when I should have stopped.
Yeah, because your body doesn't know when you're going to starve again.
I've learned this now, and now I have gone, 30 kilos overweight.
Okay, so you've measured it. Okay, well, I've just been on a weight loss expedition because what I call immersive journalism. Yes. So as part of this thing, I also had this massive binge here last year. But
did you?
Like the tapeworms were just in my head, in my stomach.
Yeah.
It was astonishing. So part of my journey is now, why do you have this? We go, why am I so fat? Do I make the mistake? So I've spoken to clinical nutritionists now, and I've also taken Ozempic as part of the thing as an experiment.
Are you taking Ozempic?
But yeah, I am.
What's it do? What does it do? Does it make you feel different?
Yes. So there are trade-offs. So anybody listening, there are trade-offs with this drug. But I can say what's quite miraculous about it. If you have a food noise problem, and food noise is not hunger, it's not lack of satiety. People who will listen to this description will know it's a constant dialogue in your brain, body.
I need to eat something. Yeah.
Especially sugar, and it's there all the time. You might still be pitching your biggest job to the CEO of Rand Merchant Bank, and the guy asks you a question, and all you hear is slap chips
with vinegar and salt.
It's just that the worms in your head are there. So what Ozempic does, it takes the noise away.
Really?
And in quite a miraculous way that it's bizarre, because I've had this noise since childhood, and suddenly it's gone. And the power of that thing is very overwhelming because it happens so naturally and so soft. And suddenly you go, my God.
Just don't go too far, because Kelly Osbourne, I can't recognize her anymore.
No, sure. But what I'm saying, so that's the one thing of Ozempic that is miraculous.
Yeah.
And it's a specific thing of this drug. It's not an appetite suppressor. It's also an appetite suppressor, but it specifically takes the
works with the brain.
Yes, unfortunately, it also takes away your pleasure for food, which in some people like myself, when I was 1 milligram, resulted in extreme and sudden depressions. There's the nausea, the constipation, the reflux, and all of that stuff. So it's a lovely trade-off.
Yes.
It's a trade-off.
They've got their own list, like your car. When people want to drive your car, they've got their own, saying, listen, you too can have this body, but it's going to
100%.
cost you. You're going to have a bit of constipation. You're going to get depressed. Give me the tablets. Give me the tablets.
It's a massive trade-off game. And my theory of Ozempic face is, it's not because they lose weight, it's because they feel so shit. Have you seen other people's faces? Yeah. You feel shit and you eat less on Ozempic. That's my theory.
Well, I'm so happy to know that I've got one friend who admits to take, because I think most people take it in secret.
They lie.
Have you seen that? People put these posts online. They say, "Oh, this 24-month journey that I've been on with my."
Everybody's honest.
On Ozempic,
people are selling it everywhere. So I was surprised how many people lie about it and how many people feel guilty. So then I've had the responses from people, that is stupid and disgusting. It's a crutch. So then it's a crutch.
Yeah, so
it's
what? Yeah, I'll have a crutch. You have your crutch.
I am weak. I am taking a shortcut. It's available to me. I'm taking it. I love the extreme judgment that people have for people who choose to take it.
Yeah, I've got no judgment about taking it. I just worry about some of the people that go, they seem to go very far with it. Like, where's the stopping point? Do you say?
It's not your problem. Can I just say that? Say that? It's not your problem where they stop.
All right. Okay, well, I'll
You
stop.
can be concerned
Okay,
for them,
I'll
but
stop
you're not-
making
you're
fun
not
of
there.
Kelly Osbourne and the rest of them now.
No, we can make fun of them, but I
Yeah.
think we must be very cautious to judge for somebody else when they're happy with their body.
It's true.
Because most people are like me. We have average weight problems. I was never obese.
Yeah.
I was like 5 kilos from obese. I had 12 kilograms overweight according to my life insurance scale, which is not massive. It's still 12 kilos. But I have average weight problems, and average people have weight aspirations too.
My friend.
You can't just be the 600-pound
Yeah.
woman who has a right to want to lose weight.
No. My friend Leon Lowe, he often talks about the like when you talk. I don't want to bring smoking up because he'll say, well, there are benefits to it. So it's like, come on, Leon,
I agree with him.
you
Yeah,
can't
we
be
work
serious, Leon. And then
together.
Leon will say, well, hold on a moment. Some people stop smoking and they put on 50 kilos, and then that kills them. So in their case, I kind of get what you're saying. Because you're not living in that person's body. You don't know what hell they go through or what they've always wanted or what makes them feel better. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, I get it.
And and for some people, fitting into their wedding dress one more time is worth
It's everything.
the risk.
Yes.
Because I know a person now who's lost 45 kilos because she just wants to fit into a wedding dress. For her, the payoffs are worth it. I do also think for people on Ozempic and people who smoke, they know the risks because it's been drummed into them. So
That's
most
right.
people who smoke and take Ozempic, I know the trade-offs, guys.
Yeah.
I know it's not a solution, it's a trade-off, but for me, this trade-off is worth it.
A few more comments coming in now. Take a look at what you've got to say. Jenny Kennedy says, I'm still asking for help for a shoulder replacement operation for my son. And sure, this has been 2-3 months now. Hey, Alistair, we've really battled with this one. I can't promise anything and I don't want to get hopes up, but I was chatting to the PR from one of the surgical hospitals in Joburg just an hour ago, just saying, please, come on. Warren is still sitting with a shoulder problem and no one can help him. We're going to keep pushing, Jenny. The good news is that they are aware of it, and they actually got hold of me an hour ago to ask how Warren was and what's going on. Jenny, if you could, I know this is a wrong forum to do this, but if you could just send me a WhatsApp with his latest, because they asked what his latest condition is and what the latest story is with him. Just do that for me and I'll pass it on to the people who are asking the questions. Warren needs your army so badly, I know, and every morning he's one of the first people I think of. We're trying. MTM says, is that a 67 Chevy Impala? Beautiful
69.
car. 69?
It's a 69. Yeah.
That's MTM. Beautiful car. Hello, Viv. Please rev your car, says Anita. You can't rev an old car. We don't know if it's going to start.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Let's see. Can you sort of see the ignition?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if she starts. I had to clap the battery away on the way here. So let's see if she starts.
Oh, this is a big moment.
Yeah, I think so. No, sorry. Okay, wait. So this also happens.
So what does that mean? You've got to push start the car now?
No, you have to go to the front.
We
this
don't
is
want to
why
make
people
you
have
do
decided-
work here. Anita has got you working.
So what you have to do,
Yeah.
you have to open the bonnet, right?
Yeah.
So I've asked the mechanic to put a hot wire here.
Yeah.
I'm now going to hot wire the car.
You're gonna
now I
hot
have to
wire
go
the car?
back. Yeah, because I have a permanent hot wire installed because the mechanics can't fix it.
Love
You would
it.
think these cars are simple to fix, but they don't. So now I've turned the ignition on, and I'm now putting the wire directly onto the terminal. Can you see?
Yes. Yeah, we can see something
Well,
good.
let's see. Now she's going to
So you're going to
start
hot
by-
wire. Are you going to? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it? Don't run the battery flat.
Yeah, see, this is now
yeah.
where it gets interesting. Let's see. Okay, now I have to wait. Okay, so this is what happens, you see.
So does that
So
mean
this-
you're going to
this car-
stuck on Bloberg Strand today, or you're going to get going?
No, sooner or later I'll get going. Or not. See, that's the trick with this car. It might start or it might not. I told
You're
you
not
this.
talking
upfront.
nonsense when
It's
you
either
say
going
that.
It's either going to start or it's not. And you have to be
Remember the
okay
terms
with
and
whichever.
conditions.
That's brilliant.
That's the terms and conditions. So this car, I think out of all the philosophers that I've met, this car is the best. It either turned me into a Buddhist or an African because you have to cope with whatever
Yes,
happens.
yes.
And it can always go 50-50.
Oh man, I once had a car that broke down As I got onto the highway off New Road, heading towards Joburg, it broke down like 500 meters down the drag on the highway, and I pulled over, and then about half an hour later, another car broke down in exactly the same spot. So he pulled right in front of me, and we were both trying to. Mine was a tire problem. The spare rim didn't fit on the car, so I had to go get another rim and bring it back and going. But he had a big engine problem, and he called his friends, and they were there for 3 days fixing that car on the side of the N1 highway, and it was fine. There was no problem. No one was getting stressed out. Everything was cool, and as long as it took to fix it, that's how long it was going to take. I learned something watching those guys.
No, absolutely. And I think this car teaches you that in a weird way that you didn't really want to be taught. But these cars are great. They go fantastic until they explode, which is what happened to me. I drove this car all the way to Grahamstown and back, and there was nothing wrong with this car. It didn't need water, anything. And I got back to Germiston, and I said to my pal, Ron, let's go to the spur. And we went to the spur, and on the way to the spur, the radiator exploded.
Have you ever considered getting yourself a little Japanese car, reliable one?
No, I do have a Suzuki. The Jimny is my main car.
Well, you're welcome on this show because it's sponsored by Suzuki, Rivonia.
No,
and Suzuki. Have you got a Jimny? Those are lovely, eh?
No, they're great.
Yeah,
Viv will fit nicely into a Jimny.
Yes. Alistair maintains he won't fit in a Jimny, but I've told him have you sat in a new Jimny, or are you talking about the old one?
No,
the new one you'll
fifth generation.
Yeah, you'll fit in, no problem. I promise you. In fact, I'm going to take you and we're going to video you fitting into a damn Jimny because you bring it up every time I mention every time I say Jimny, and it goes, "The pity I can't fit in it." I promise you, you will not only will you fit in the new Jimny, you will say, "Wow, this is really comfortable." I promise you. Yes.
I drove the Jimny from Cape Town to East London.
Yes, but it's an old Jimny. It's different. The new one is a different.
Okay.
Alistair, I drove to Cape Town with my dog on the front seat, a camping bed, a gas stove, a table, a chair, and all my clothes. I drove a whole living unit to Cape Town in a Jimny.
There we go. So suck on eggs. Anita Maynard says, absolutely awesome, this show with Viv. My brother says, I think I came out to rescue you that night. Who's he talking about, me or Viv? I don't think you know my brother, so it must be me. Gail Mortensen says to start or not to start the ignition. That's the reality. Sally thinks you're hysterical. Mandy Wilson says, I can't believe what I'm watching. Jumpstarting terms and conditions. Anita says, oh, shit, Viv, I'll come push. Call the AA, says Lisa Frank.
That's the thing about Bloberg. There's no hills. You've got to push.
It's automatic. You can't, hey?
No, you can't. But and your master push gaan ook nie hierso werk. So listen, but I have to get this car home. So you must decide when we end this because I have to start making a plan.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we can end it now if you want, and you can. But how will we know if?
Let me try one more time. Let me try.
How will we know if you're okay, Viv? This is
okay. Everybody, all
right. Well, let's all say a prayer for Viv's car. Let's all say prayers. You know.
Okay, now we all go. Your master push. Your master push.
Okay, everybody, your master push. Is it going?
Yeah.
Viv Vermaak, where can people get hold of you if they want to book you for a motivational talk?
Yes, so watch out. I'm playing the small theatres in Cape Town this year. Galloway Theatre, Colpate Theatre. Pop me on Facebook. You should recognize me. Or info@vivian.co.za. info@vivian.co.za.
Got it. The fantastic Viv Vermaak has been our guest this hour. All right, Viv, get home safely. Alistair says nice to meet you. Is the car running now? Is it going?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we're okay. We can let Viv go now.
Thanks, lovely.
Viv, so nice catching up, Vivian. And when I'm in Cape Town, we must do coffee, doll.
We're going to do coffee and you're going to do a show live from this car, my love.
Damn right, you and me together. Okay, Vivian, thank you. And a good day to you. Get home safely. And love you lots from all of us. We love you to pieces, Viv Vermaak.
Bye, Viv.
There we go. This show was 2/3 Germiston today. Viv Vermaak was our guest on the show. Isn't she wonderful? I love
Amazing
Viv.
woman.
I don't know if Viv knows how much people love her and how much South Africa loves her. People love Viv Vermaak.
I love the way she called you out so many times today, Tom. Sorry.
She's smart. I mean, I sit
Yeah.
with Viv at a function. I'm like, whoa, you better be smart here.
You better be on your game when you want to take
All
her.
right, so 36 people liked the show, 23 loved it, 1 laughed, nobody cried, nobody got angry, and nobody got sad. Those are our friends and our loved ones. If you didn't press the like or heart button, if you didn't press the ha button, you are our mortal enemy. Go out of here now.
Leave.
All right, Alistair. Well, I think that's it. I mean, can you believe an hour went that quickly? Isn't that lovely?
What?
I
Amazing.
enjoyed today. I enjoyed the show. Well, there
Absolutely.
goes Viv. She got the phone on the dashboard. Blue skies up ahead, and off she goes. All right, go back to your blanket now, But, because I know you were battling.
So I've been my blanket here, man.
Stay warm.
Gotta keep warm.
Stay warm, my buddy. Okay, Alistair.
Gotta keep warm at my age.
Stop bringing age into it. Catch you on Tuesday. Alistair Jameson from Primrose Hill in Germiston, well represented today.
Don't forget to make it a double.
And Viv Vermaak was our guest on the Tom London Show from Bloberg Strand with Katy Perry in the background. She of Going Nowhere fame. Viv has got this wonderful talk she does, DisMotivational Speaking. Look for her on Facebook.
She fits in well here, man.
There? Yeah,
She fits in well.
she
The
does.
dysfunctional-
Yeah, she
the
does. We must have her on
dysmotivational-
again. I think so. All right, Tuesday, Tanya's back. We'll talk about Sedwana, and she'll probably tell you what a terrible house guest Tom is. I think, maybe. I scared one of the dogs. We'll talk about it on Tuesday. We'll talk about me scaring the one dog. Became a problem. But anyway, yeah, you leave me in one place long enough, I cause trouble.
Sleep with you, I guess.
Yeah. Listen, Jenna Lee, we've got an operation date for her. 15th of July is Jenna Lee's up. Jennifer and Jimmy will be coming up a week later. It's confirmed. 15th of July, we'll be going on the journey to better health and a straight spine with Jenna Lee on the 15th. Well, that's it. Michael Naranjo sings the song you hear in the background. Michael, Naranjo.
Yeah.
Just another town.
And I'd like to thank you for joining us on the Tom London Show. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Make the most of the weekend. Thank you for helping us get Jenna Lee into a good hospital and into healing hands. We hope to do the same for Warren Kennedy next. All right? And I think that's it. That's a wrap, folks.
That's it.
That's
Thank
it.
The Tom London Show, where 2/3 of the hosts love America.
The Tom London Show was brought to you by Suzuki Rivonia.
Don't forget to tell them Tom sent you.